I don't really have any.
Almost 6?
I don't think I actually have any topics of conversation except like I watched E3 stuff today, and there's really only one good-looking game.
Halo?
Elder Ring. It's from Software and.
Did they talk about Fable?
Bandai Namco? I don't think so.
Because they only popped out that one teaser trailer.
Like
and
a year or two ago.
And I was like, are they ever going to show anything else for this game? Nope. It probably got canceled.
It could have gotten canceled, yeah. But
Screw that.
Elder Ring is Bandai Namco from Software, written by George R.R. Martin.
What is it about?
It's a Souls-like game, written by Martin.
It's a Souls-like game. I don't know what that is.
Demon Souls, Dark Souls,
Oh,
Bloodborne.
Soul-like game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's another one in that series, like from Software, and this time it'll actually have a story.
Are you sure?
It was written by Martin.
Yeah, but the lore could be all...
No, there was dialogue in the trailer. Some of the bosses talk to you. Yeah, unlike, in all the Souls games where everyone's just monsters and they scream.
Yeah, and they just make really weird noises.
Yeah. And then the only time you get any like story stuff is when you talk to an NPC and they say something really vague. Like really vague.
Well, I felt like we haven't introduced this at all, so welcome back to it.
Hi guys.
Yeah, wait, what would this be? That would be would this one actually be the return of Jenni? Because we had Jenni, then we had Jenni Strikes Back. And so now it'd be the return of Jenni.
The return of Jenni,
Okay.
yeah.
Then Jenni
I'm here.
Awakens.
I'm drinking.
The next one would be Jenni Awakens.
I currently work at a liquor store now.
Why are you telling people this? Don't tell them that. She doesn't work anywhere, okay? She's a stay-at-home mom like a good conservative woman.
That's why she's wearing red.
Oh my god, yeah.
We're just gonna cover.
I'm glad you're a
where I
Republican.
work.
Oh my god. I'm pretty sure both of you and I are not either.
No, I'm not either.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm more libertarian. Yeah, which Michael Malice, man, is really starting to convince me to be a anarchist. Yeah. Yeah.
You started leading away like
I
you
was
gonna say
like, are
something
you
crazy.
gonna be like
Anarcho-capitalist. To
okay?
be more specific.
Capitalism.
So it's like no government, but we still work under capitalism for our money.
So the
structure.
monetary gain, it should be literally still capitalism.
Yeah, still capitalism, but no government. Anarchy.
I hate the government. It's okay.
But I'm still not 100% convinced on it. I'm leaning towards it, but there's just a few things I don't.
Particularly.
That he doesn't have answers to that are
I
like,
just don't. I don't understand because like, what happens when if foreign power decides they want to take over the country?
It would be a dictatorship, and we
Well-
just let them because we don't have any government.
No, see that's the thing is I think a lot of people would take the way he put it was basically like, well, if a lot of people get mad about something, they take guns and they go fix it.
I am with
And
that.
there's no way for a country to get conquered if there's not a central government. Because say someone invaded us and they took over provinces, it'd just be like, well, yeah,
Well,
those
you
provinces
got that
are
one.
gone,
What are you gonna do?
You know,
And the people
then
in that province would probably take up arms unless,
Yeah,
you,
and
unless you
then-
take a place like
and
New York
then-
or California. where they
then
don't really
people
have one.
well, actually, okay, so that's one thing, right? So if California got invaded by a different like another country, I do think there's enough like Southerners and Westerners, the Texas type and everything that would be like, we're gonna go free them, right?
You think so?
I do.
Yeah.
I really do, because
Look at Tennessee. We're the volunteer state.
I would leave
Yeah.
them alone.
We
and be like,
straight
well,
up
we
got that
deserve
name.
what you
Yeah,
got.
because we straight up were like, all right, let's just go do this for whatever reason.
No,
And
I look at it as they deserve what they got. All right. You chose
okay,
to
so
not defend
you wouldn't
yourself.
be one of the Tennessee volunteers.
No, I would not.
That's fine.
yeah. No, exactly. I'm just saying there's definitely gonna be a lot of people.
But I feel like you
That,
also
to
get that
them,
option too.
It would be like it's a good excuse to finally go get into a fight with guns.
Yeah, there's some
Fair,
people.
there's
You know
a
what I
lot
mean?
of-
Yeah,
Not
okay,
even
they're
some,
getting
there's
invaded.
so
We'll
many.
go save them.
Yeah, but also, I'm also I say they deserve it, and I'm one of the people who's like, I don't believe in guns. I don't like guns as it is.
Mhm.
But I think people should have the right to own one. Like,
They should. They really
like,
should.
I'm
But
like, you can totally have your guns and do
But-
whatever you want to. Just, I mean, not whatever. I don't want you running around murdering a bunch of people.
Yeah, you
That's not
can't
cool.
do whatever you want to, but you can own guns.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no problem with that.
all right, so this one is terrible, and if you want to put your cigarettes in it, you can because I hate it.
Well, I'm not gonna let it go to waste. If you're not
Then
gonna drink
drink
it,
it.
I'll
Oh,
drink
that's
it.
what the mint was.
Or
I
you
was
can
like, it
drink
made me
it.
think of a mint gum.
It tastes
Yes.
like the Lush
Watermelon
Ice Pops,
mint.
kind of.
To me, it tasted
But,
just
like,
like
watered down?
bubble.
It made me think of a
Hold on.
Trident watermelon.
I mean, it's a seltzer beer.
Yeah, what's
You had a watermelon Trident?
What's that?
Yes.
It's what it,
Hubba Bubba? It tastes like Hubba Bubba watermelon.
There you go.
I don't know. I still
Yeah.
think it tastes like Trident.
Yeah, fair enough.
Drink it.
No, I'm good.
I grabbed that.
I
and
will
the
set it
other
back here and
stuff.
drink it in a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is also, those same kind of people that would be willing to take up guns and go to California to fight off an invasion on behalf of California would also, in a way, be doing it to rub it in the faces of the people they're
Californians.
saving. Be like,
They
"You
really would.
pussy."
They'd be like, you owe us now.
Yeah, you pussy.
You
But yeah,
would
but
need to
would
do
we
this.
allow Texas to do it? Because Texas, I feel like would go over there and be like, now you are Texas.
That is a very good point. That is a very good point. But see, I also
Texas is the bitch that's got your back, okay?
Yeah, they are until like they realize they have all the power, and then I definitely feel like Texas would be like, because they tried to succeed from the country how many times?
Okay, in all
Just once.
fairness, do
Yeah,
you
wasn't it
see
just
the
one?
fucking country?
Yeah, but like the thing is, Texas. So I was seeing a map overlaid of
Sorry,
Texas
COVID,
on
guys.
like Europe countries.
right into the mic.
COVID. Oh my
You
god.
people.
That one was on purpose.
Yeah, you people.
But like, no, I saw Texas overlaid over like European country, like.
Oh, dude, it's
And
huge.
It's insane.
Yeah, but no, all of America is huge.
Yeah, we
compared
are
to
big in
most
comparison.
countries.
Yeah.
Because like we've talked about it, where it's like, yeah, we could drive a couple of hours and still be in the same state.
Mhm.
Where it's like for them, if they drive like 30 minutes to an hour.
it's another country.
Yeah, if you drive an hour, you've left several countries, and it's like,
Mhm.
man,
Yeah.
that's weird.
No, that's I don't remember what I was watching, but it was like I think it was EFAP, where Rags, who's from Arkansas,
Yeah.
was talking with Mahler, who's from England,
Okay.
and he was Rags was like, yeah, it's like an 8-hour drive or whatever, and I'll be done. And it's like, what the crap are you talking? 8 hours? And it's like, yeah, it's just an 8-hour drive. And it's like, I wouldn't drive more than 30 minutes to go somewhere.
All right,
Because
well,
like
I'll drive
that's how
3
much
hours.
more, that's how
but-
much more space we have. Though the 8 hours is like, okay, I mean, I'm making a road trip, so it's 8 hours.
Yeah.
And it's like there, it's like, whoa, if I go like an
Dude,
hour,
do you know how,
That is a road trip
that's
to
like,
them.
yeah.
I was gonna say, you know how
It
normal
really
that is for
is.
us though, like, cause like I've told you, like going to where I went this week, 2 weeks.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's an 8-hour drive. And it's like, yeah. Anytime I've heard anybody be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to another state, it's like, yeah, that's 8 hours, roughly about 8 hours.
And it's totally normal for us.
Yeah, we just think about it like, oh yeah, okay, cool, yeah, you're going to
Yeah,
that.
it takes me like
Yeah.
6 or 7 hours to get to South Carolina.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, that's not even that far.
No,
No,
it's about
it's
500
not
miles.
to us.
Yeah, it's not far at all because of the grand scheme of if someone was like, hey, I want to go to California amongst us, I'd be like, okay, yeah, you're taking a
That
trip.
takes like
You're taking a
3
trip.
days.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 or 4 days.
I mean, driving to Texas takes, well, it depends on what part of Texas you're in.
That depends how often you stop.
It can take a couple days.
But yeah, Texas is like the majority of that trip.
Yeah, yeah, because you'll go through Louisiana and, I
And
think
then you're in
Arkansas
Texas.
and of course Alabama and like.
And then you're
it's
still
like-
in Texas.
Then you get to Texas and it's like, all right, well I have to get to Houston. It's gonna take me a hot minute. And like, what? That 5 hours of your drive is still Texas just to get to Houston. It's
Yeah,
like, oh
yeah,
my
it
God.
really is.
Yeah,
But
they-
in Europe, that is
Yeah, see, I think even for Americans though, Texas is an insane drive.
tech.
Yeah,
it
Because
can
if you're
be.
like at the edge going from panhandle to panhandle, that's a long
Right.
trip.
It can. be.
Yes.
It's like, yeah, it took 8 hours and I didn't even leave my state yet.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Versus like for us, it's like 8 hours. I've gone through 2 states.
Like, let's see. I could get to. I think we can get to Memphis in about 5 hours, because our state's long.
Yeah.
So if we're gonna drive the width of it, it takes about 5 hours to get. We're in the bottom right corner to get to the center left,
Memphis, yeah, I guess you're
It's about
right.
5
4.
hours.
It's a little less. It's a little over 4.
right? But if you were gonna go from, I guess, the bottom to the very top, bottom left to very top right,
Oh my god, that's, gonna
that's
take a
probably
while.
about 7 or 8
Yeah,
hours.
it's gonna take a while.
Yeah.
Well, again, it's a lot.
But if you're just driving through it, like going to Ohio,
it's nothing.
Yeah, hour and a
Yeah,
half.
Nothing.
just if you're just driving straight up.
If you're just like,
Yeah, hour and a half, 2 hours.
I mean, what is it? Going to Kentucky, it takes an hour and a half because you go through Knoxville and then pop up and you're in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, so getting through the short part is nothing. It's nothing.
Yeah.
Be there in no time. But still, that's crazy for European countries. You're like, wait, an hour and a half?
why are you driving that far?
Mhm.
It's like, well, to get to the other state, it's not that far.
Yeah, this is
Because
just
it's
a state
normal for
away.
us.
Yeah.
I like that though. It's so beautiful. All right, moving on. I
Cool.
just thought about the Texas overlay and that made me think like, holy crap, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's big. Yeah,
It
it's
is.
big.
But you were talking about California getting taken over, and I still think Texas went there to help, they would totally take over and be like, this is Texas.
They might try to do something on the books to be like, since we saved you, this happens now. Yeah, and it could be like you're now.
You think?
I mean, honestly, think about
You're
it.
from
They
Texas,
have
right?
so
So,
many
well, would
ports
it be
and stuff.
Texas
They have
too?
so many, anything outside of the country available to them. They want to secede because they have all of that. They don't have to rely as heavily as everyone else does, especially more inland. So if they wanted to take over another country and do it that way, because we were in what was it?
Were they trying to secede?
Wait, we were
Not
in
even
what?
just that. Like the
Union?
anarchists.
Oh.
Like if we were running underneath that, like
Oh, that
I
thought
don't
process, yeah.
think they would use it as that, as more of like to grow. Like, okay, we know we have all access to this, but you guys do have something that we don't.
How many
so
state
let's-
changes do you think would happen?
That's
like
not. No, that's not how that
lines?
works.
So many.
That's not how that works. Yeah, there'd be no lines.
Yeah, that's
That's
what
not
I'm
how
saying.
that
You don't think
works.
so?
No, there can't be.
I feel like we would definitely
Well,
have
our
to open
government,
up and
our
do
government
some
is what
kind of-
determines what the lines are.
Well, technically, the boundary lines are determined by the geography. Technically.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it is, but I still feel like if they were doing something like that, they're still gonna have to open up and be like, okay, well, we're gonna do this over here and this over here. We're gonna have to open this for that.
What was he saying? That Matthews guy you were talking about?
Oh, the anarchist.
Yeah, what
that's
was he
being
saying about
convincing?
like the individual? Because I remember we watched a video about it where he was like, if a bunch of people wanted to be white supremacists over here, and he's like,
Oh.
yeah, they just do that on their side, and then if they tried to do it somewhere else, like I'm
We'd be
sure,
like,
well,
ugh.
he's like, I'm
No.
sure the other people would be like, nah, I don't want that.
Michael Malice, I just remember.
Michael Malice.
What he was saying in that was more specifically was he was like, it's the same way that it is now, just without a governing body. Because he's like, right now, if a few cities over, all of a sudden they started doing slavery again, the only way it would get stopped is if a bunch of people from outside that town said, well, we don't like that, and went in there and stopped it.
Yeah,
So
to
it's
be
the same
completely
way.
fair. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Like, that's just how it is now. We just have red tape and bureaucracy, and we just cut that middleman out. And just say, let people
Because
do what they want.
I was just looking at it like, well, then at that point, like, we have no state lines, no boundaries, really.
Because, I mean, honestly,
like,
I think if...
What's to stop other quote-unquote states that are no longer states from just being like, well, I want to expand. Like, this town
How?
now, this state and this city wants to expand and be like,
So then,
you
like,
are
it
now
would probably
whatever.
be so much similar to maybe a civil war because we may
Yeah,
not
exactly.
have all the government and all of that in between, but like I feel like that kind of also could make it worse too.
So you're saying someone will start a group of people.
No, I'm not saying
with
someone
guns.
will do it. I'm just saying
There is a
what would
possibility.
happen.
No, could.
Yeah, it
Yes,
could
it
happen
could,
of
right.
like people
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
being like, well, this group of people are
And
like,
then it
I
would take
want
another
to.
group of people to pick up guns and fight back. Yeah.
But then, like, what stops them from like going forward from this location, and then people being like, "Yeah, we like your idea. We're going to join you." And then this group's over here like,
Well,
"Well, we're gonna
There's
not." And then
nothing.
eventually, it's just gonna be like a whole bunch of infighting.
Well, everyone's
There's
allowed to
nothing.
do
That's
their own
just
thing.
what we would have to figure out.
Yeah, everyone's
man.
allowed to do their own thing.
Can I just
James
build an
is like-
underground bunker and not deal with
Yeah,
anybody?
definitely.
And then,
Yeah,
like,
but
Same.
I'm just technically right. What you're saying is that if all of a sudden the country collapsed and became anarchy,
yeah.
there could be a group of people that decides they want to start a government.
Yes, essentially.
Yeah, there you go.
And
There would be so many mini government
Yeah,
things going
Most likely.
on.
which I did like his idea of it being a corporate ran thing.
yeah, that's
Versus-
a little scary, but at the same time, I could get that. But I mean, back in the day when we were colonizing further west, it was that
It
companies
was.
would just be like, "We built a town
Yep.
because we made a mine shaft."
Yeah.
And
I
so
mean,
the
Please
company,
come here,
yeah, the company
buy your
builds
penny
the whole
land.
thing. Yeah.
As long as you don't do
Yeah.
what, as long as you don't do what Ford did, which he bought like a whole swath of land in like near the Amazon.
But you
And,
know there are
like,
gonna be
he
people
built
to
he
do
called it like
that.
he called it like Fordland or something like that, Ford Town. Anyways, he spent what
Ford Knox.
There you
yeah, that'd
go.
be funny. But no, like he spent what equates to like $2 billion our money now.
Yeah.
Doing all of this. And the people revolted because he tried to make it in an American like feel and like where there's golf clubs, swimming pools, and like
To just rich
What's wrong
people.
with golf clubs?
nothing. But he was less. He
You
was
mean
just
golf
like,
courses?
No, golf clubs.
Just golf clubs.
Like the clubs.
Yeah, just
not the swinging club, the clubs.
Like the group of people that got together and formed a club to go golfing in.
Okay.
yeah. Now, granted, they were still golf courses because how
Yeah,
else
to
would
do
you have the
that for a
club?
golf club.
But,
Okay.
but like,
I'm following.
anyways, he built all these things.
I'm not
and then,
stupid.
And then he added a bunch of American like culture to it, and they were like, no, we don't like this. And eventually they revolted and kicked him out of the town.
The Amazonians.
It's not Amazon specifically. It's not Amazonian specifically. It's where he built it was like next to like is it Venezuela or a country close like that. Wherever like the Amazon is, take off just a little bit, and he built it somewhere right there.
He was like,
Right on the
I own
outskirts.
this little bit, and
So
it's
he bought a bunch of their
Americanized, and everybody
land,
hates
made it Americanized.
Built a city,
And then
in
people didn't
town,
like it.
and then he hired everyone in there, and then paid them dirt. And then-
it. I wouldn't go either.
Yeah.
Well,
Darn.
they didn't know that because they were making more money according to their culture.
Yeah.
But
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
And we still do that today.
exactly, so they were making more money according to their culture. But then when it came down to paying for stuff in the city that they now lived in, it wasn't anything. They weren't making really enough money to live there.
He's like, I've already upped my prices.
Yeah, and like so they got really mad. But he allowed them to like make their own food places, like restaurants and all that other stuff. Like so they were supposed to just be taking care of it for him.
Yeah.
But
Basically, yeah.
So what I'm hearing is that he established a city.
Mhm.
Then, in order to pay it back, he charged rent and property taxes or whatever
Yeah.
that were relevant to America,
yes,
the United States of America, and then was like, but you can have your own economy in the sense of like capitalism of start your own entrepreneurship,
Yeah,
make
exactly.
restaurants, do this and that. But
in order to make sure the city keeps going.
yeah, but
but
the
it's
amount
like-
of
but the-
money paid for the jobs didn't meet
Pay for
the
what they
rent,
needed.
Yes.
essentially. Gotcha.
And then they were losing food. They had so apparently you get rubber from trees. It's like crazy weird. Like
It's hard.
where you have to
It's a
plant
very
it.
long
the
process.
bugs that come involved in it, and so the bugs were killing people. There was a pretty big bugs showing up and just killing people, causing diseases and stuff like that. And he also planted it in a rocky, deserty like area. Planted trees for those people.
Okay.
And they can't thrive on that. They need a ungodly amount of rain.
Okay.
and
Fair.
and a bunch of other stuff, like the soil needs to be rich and all this stuff, but he planted it basically like on a cliff face.
Okay.
So
So the
This is
industry
beautiful. Let's
failed.
just
So
put
it,
this
the
here.
industry failed because of like, well, now I'm not making money from the rubber. It's costing me more money to spend to like try to figure out what the problem is. And then also now these people aren't making money. They are mad because I'm charging them more because I'm spending more money. Like,
So
it
at
was
the
just-
end of
it
the
was
day,
just
the
bad
bottom dollar
repetition.
was he wasn't giving them, like he started a city that he himself would not fund beyond what he was probably paying as a minimal wage on his employees.
That and he thought he was going to make, so his thought process was the economy would make money because the rubber trees would come in and then he could sell it at a high price, do all this stuff, and then
That's
he
what
could
I was
afford,
thinking,
he could
yeah.
feed them and pay them more money and it eventually boom. But
Yeah.
because of where he planted all his trees, no money was coming, so he was feeding a bunch of money to the city to,
wasn't
to
giving him
maintain it, but he
anything.
wasn't making money back. So
Okay.
eventually he just bottomed it out and then had to be like, all right, this is a bad idea. And so he
Thank
did
you
the
for
Trump
your time. Moving on.
he did the Trump tactic, which is when you fail, just tell everyone it was an amazing job and a success, and move on with your
There you
life.
go. Yeah.
It's beautiful. We loved
I
it.
mean, but
It
think
Goodbye.
about
was the best rubber city ever.
But think about it. Had I not told you guys about it, would you?
No.
Would you know about
Yeah,
it?
good
Exactly.
PR.
I've known about it. That's
It
really
was great
cool, though.
PR.
Good
because
PR.
he was just like, yeah, it was amazing, it worked, and everyone's like, okay.
I mean, you could also just go about
Whatever.
that with the
Moving
newspaper
on.
being like, look, I established this awesome city, all these people moved in, and then when it starts to fail, be like, I sold it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, well, that's awesome, good job. And it's like, yep, it was great. It was the best ever. They're doing great over there.
Which,
Bye.
if I'm not mistaken, he did sell it back to the government. Whatever government
Hopefully
that
they
country
made
was.
more.
But they bought it back for like way less than what he made.
Oh, so he made money on it. So it's a great PR.
He
It's
made-
like, yeah, I made
Well, think about it, he
a
spent-
few $100,000.
He made about $2 billion. He spent about $2 billion on it and
Yeah.
paid back like $100 million or something.
Yeah, but see, then what you say there, right, is like, yeah, I decided to go ahead and sell it. I made a cool 100 mil.
Before it actually got bad,
And now
then
we're
moved
moving on.
Yeah.
You don't say that part. You just say I made a cool 100 mil off the sell. It's the best thing ever. It's the greatest. And then move on. What do you think? Speaking of bugs, though, you know Kinky Fungus? Kinky Fungus on. You haven't played with him on Apex?
No. I haven't played
It's like
any video games. in almost a
like
month
how
now.
we're friends with Panda, and then
Yeah.
Kinky Fungus is another one that we actually play with frequently for a while. Same with Fire Pepper.
Yeah.
People
okay.
that we played
So
with for a
I've
while.
played-
but
have
like,
I played with King?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah, we played but I was playing with him the other day. Yeah, you don't like playing with Kinky Fungus? Is there a problem with that?
No, there's no problem.
So, I was talking to him the other day, and it turns out
No,
that He has a cephalopod farm.
What?
Yeah, he raises bugs.
All right.
He has thousands and thousands of
That's cool too.
cephalopods. Japanese roaches.
Is he selling them for like food for critters and stuff? Or?
No, he sells them to other collectors.
Oh, he's a bug collector.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and he sells them to other bug collectors.
I feed them to my birds.
And he says that he makes something like he has a specific breed. He has a specific breed of roly-poly that is like he can sell. I think he said 4 of them for over $600 just to sell 4.
Why?
Because
I don't really care. Do you know how fast they breed? Can
Yeah.
I sell that?
Yeah. He was saying that like he sells them, I think, to whoever, because it could be that some people buy them just for food. But the thing is, he only grows exotic kinds. Like he only raises exotic ones that have like weird color schemes, like zebra. And
So he's got different
question mark.
mutations and stuff that he prefers to.
Duck face, where they have yellow faces and then the normal shell. And
That's
stuff.
really cool because
Yeah.
my birds are very similar with the breeding stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I was definitely confused, but it's really cool, and he said that none of his friends like coming to his house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shoot,
I'm that
I
guy
would be
too.
there. I would be there. That's awesome.
I
yeah,
swear to God.
that's what I was
I
like.
would check
swear
it
to God,
out.
Jenni.
I told him, I was like, I
Ever.
want a
I will
tour.
never.
That's what I was like, dude. I want a tour. I want to see this
I want to
place.
see that. That sounds so cool.
Yeah, I want to see it. I don't necessarily want to stay there, but I would
But I
totally
will totally
hang out
come
for
by
a
and
minute
hang
to
out.
look at
You
everything.
can put me in a hazmat suit and I can walk through and then I'll watch it. I'll be like, oh yeah,
No,
those are cool.
dude, he said literally infestation is impossible because if they're not in their habitats, after 5 minutes they die.
Oh, that's cool.
Because they're actually, so like the, whatever I said earlier, I already forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
okay. keep
But
going.
they're actually crustaceans. So they're like crabs, and they have gills, and they breathe the moisture out of the air.
Okay, so they have to have a really like rainforesty kind of environment.
Very
That's really
humid.
cool.
Yeah, so if they get out of their container, they'll die.
Yeah, no. See, I
So
don't
there's
care.
no
I don't
infestation.
care if there's no infestation. I will watch them from behind a plexiglass while they're behind glass. All right, like that's my like
He's
full
like,
rubber
I will
suit.
do
Okay.
anything.
2 layers.
Yeah, I'm just like full rubber suit. That won't touch them.
Shoot, that'd be cool. I would check it out.
I would check it out. Yeah, I'm glad you're with me on that. Yeah. I
James
wouldn't,
is like, no.
I wouldn't want to raise bugs, but I'd check it out.
Dude, I'd be crawling in my sleep. You'd be like, ah.
Okay,
my
so I
skin
recently
crawls.
discovered these groups on Facebook that are like dependent on each state, and like so they're identification sites that you can go on, and experts in the area can tell you, like, yes, this is what this is or whatever, and it's different. Like the admins are the ones that can go in and do this. It's really cool because I found out a couple of different jumping spiders that we have in the area that I've been finding all over the yard.
Hmm.
So that's kind of cool.
So I was chilling at her house one day, and there's this spider. Like, okay, I don't know. People who know me should know that I hate spiders.
He absolutely does. It's funny.
I don't have a problem with spiders.
I don't either.
Well, okay. There's a story to why I hate spiders, but
I have
moving
one
on.
rule with spiders. You can live in my house until you get to a certain size, then you're dead.
Well, we were chilling at her house, and she's like, James, there's a spider behind you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And so then I turn around, and there's this spider. It's only about that big. And
Yeah,
like,
I'd be okay with that.
He's one of the most common, and he has like lime green fangs. It's
yeah,
actually
like, he's
pretty.
really cool looking.
Oh, okay.
But like, I'm like, all right, I don't like this. Like,
Are
I
they
don't-
the ones with them thick legs?
Yeah.
And the thick boys.
They
that-
look
that-
so they're the jumping spiders, but they look like teeny tiny tarantulas, and they're
Yes.
actually really, really pretty. They just don't get that big.
And like
Yeah.
he's just crawling everywhere, trying to catch flies and stuff like that. I'm like, I hate this. I hate this so much because like it's above me at this point
And I'm like,
now.
where's he at? Can I see him? So pretty.
Like freaking hated it. And, like I kept tracking him before because she's like, where'd you go? I'm like, he's over there.
I
And
know where
then
he
he
is.
moved to another location. She's like, where you going? I'm like, he's over there.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
I
watching
am
this
completely
guy.
aware where the spider is. Yeah, I actually had a spider in my truck the other day. That
Did you?
that was like about that same size. It was one of those jumping spider, like fat train. It was black and white, and it looked really cool and everything. And I was like, I want you out of my truck. And he was just in the door frame.
Yeah.
And so I went to like scoop him out, and he ran under the rubber
The seal?
insulation seal thing. And I was like, great, okay, well,
You
and I
live
drove.
there now.
So I just drove to the gas station or whatever, and then I got out, and then he was back in the door frame where I could see him. I was like, okay, you just gotta leave now, and he just wouldn't leave. So I had to kill him,
Good man.
That story escalated so quickly.
No,
so I just killed him.
Yeah, look, I try to be reasonable with life. I try to reason with it and talk with it and have it.
Please leave.
Yeah, please
Go
leave.
away.
I don't want you in my car because you're gonna lay babies and there's gonna be hundreds of thousands of you in my car. And I'd rather not. I already had to deal with some ants that decided to make a nest in the bed of my truck.
Oh, jeez.
But so I handled that too. But you know, it's one of those things where it's like, look, within reason, I am okay with you.
You are
You
so
wanna-
much better with driving with bugs in your car. Okay, so I was driving with.
I straight up
What else
freak
was I
out,
supposed to
not gonna
do?
You remember McConnell, right? So like, I'm driving with him down Wildwood.
Who?
lie. McConnell.
I don't remember him.
Yeah. So I'm driving down Wildwood with him, and also he's like, James, don't freak out. Like, first off, don't tell someone not to freak out, like, because then they immediately go into
That's
high
fair.
alert.
Yeah, because it's like it could literally be the worst thing ever
Yeah.
happening right now.
Yeah.
Okay, that sentence alone tells you that's something you're absolutely terrified of.
It's happening.
Yeah, it was happening.
And
He's
it's
right
like,
going
now.
on.
He's like, don't freak out. There is a spider directly above you. Like, and it's coming down. Like, it's just like on its web coming down. I'm like, what? And I look up and there's this, I don't even know what type of spider it was, but I freaked out. I would have wrecked us, okay? Because my response while driving with the spider was, I let go of the steering wheel entirely
I
and
fully
just
believe
start
that.
losing my crap on it. And he's like, what are you doing? Grabs the steering wheel, corrects us. And like, now he's driving with me pressing the gas, still freaking out at this spider.
Oh my god.
I killed it, got it out of the car, got back in the steering wheel. I was like, or on the steering wheel, I was like, fuck you. Don't ever do that again. I would rather just not know. You could honestly have just grabbed it and moved it.
Yeah.
That would have been way better.
That's what I
I
was
mean,
just
that's what I
thinking.
typically do. if there's a
Instead
spider
of being
around.
like, hey, by the way, there's a spider about to land on you, I would have just been like, hey, you're driving. Whoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Handled.
Had he not said anything and did that, I would have been like, what was that about?
What?
Yeah. And then he'd be like, oh, nothing. Or I killed a spider. And it's like, oh, balls.
That's me with
Yeah.
these. As
Yeah.
long as you don't
Either
tell
one
me
of
it's
those is
there,
fine.
I'm good.
Either was fine. I just killed a spider. Oh, good. There's one less spider to deal with.
Yep.
Or it wasn't anything. Don't worry about it. All right.
All right. Cool.
Just keep on going.
No. The reason I hate spiders is I was 7, 8 years old. About to go to Disney World with a friend, and he had a pet tarantula.
Okay.
And at that time, I had no fear of spiders. I was like, cool. So,
It's fine.
and so like, he was like, you want to pet my tarantula? And I see him holding it, and he's you can literally pet it. I say it
Tarantulas are
was-
pretty cool.
I say it was pretty big, but you know, we had kid hands at that time, so like, it was the
Yeah.
size of our hand.
Which, I mean, that's a
big
good
tarantula.
sized spider.
But I mean, it's a tarantula.
Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, totally. So I grab it, toss it around. This is cool. Start petting it, and then for some reason it turns around really rapidly and jumped at my face. And I dodged it. I was like, ah! And ran off. Since then I've been like, nope, don't touch spiders. Don't
I didn't know
like them.
tarantulas jumped.
They can, depending on what kind they are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just don't know
Probably
why.
like
I never
those
knew
there.
why it jumped. Never figured it out. Didn't care.
Have you ever seen camel spiders?
Yes. Yeah.
All right.
Those things are creepy.
Cool. No, that
I
that's
just
where it's out of hand. That's where it's out of hand. Okay. I'm not going to some desert with camel spiders. Thank
Got
you.
a hunting spider. Have you seen those things?
I don't know if I've seen
The
a
bird
hunting spider.
spiders?
Oh, is that what you're talking about?
They're huge.
Dude, camel spiders are bigger than that.
They're huge. That's probably as far as I would go to be like, I'm legitimately terrified of a spider.
Yeah.
And that's on it for
Yeah.
me at least. That's it.
See, I don't.
I'm just like,
I,
that's a big
I don't.
spider.
I don't know what. Yeah, that probably would be big enough for me to be like, never mind, I don't like spiders. But
I'm glad that's you guys' love. Mine was like this big.
no,
Nope.
but see, that's
I
the
would
thing.
love to
is
have
now
like a
once-
tarantula.
Once,
a
once a
rosehair,
spider gets about
beautiful.
that big, right?
Yeah.
That's when I'm like, all right, you can't be in my house anymore. You're dead.
Yeah. Okay, the
But
only,
listen, then I'm like, all right,
you know, the
you
only
know,
spider
you're killing,
I'm
you're killing
willingly
bugs. I
allowed
appreciate
to
it.
stay in my
Yeah.
house that got big is the riding spiders. I'm cool with them.
I understand.
They are
that.
the only
As long
spiders
as they're
that I'm
outside.
perfectly
My
okay
mom
with.
loves
They can be
the,
outside.
the
Yeah, they can't be
orb
inside.
spiders. Loves
Orb
them.
spiders, they do look
so
really cool.
good for the garden too.
Really?
So
I
good
didn't know
for the
that.
garden.
Yeah, I know they look really cool. They
The
look
orb
like
weavers?
they literally look like they have like their snails or something. Like their
They help take care
abdomen
of
look
the-
like shells.
They help
It's so
take care
cool.
of the garden infestations that you can get. And
Okay.
so, like people will buy spiders like that if they can get them. And
That's cool.
And same thing with ladybugs. You can get like literally bags of ladybugs to release in your garden to keep other infestations out. Keeps the aphids and stuff
I
away.
prefer people not to
Oh.
do that. Because you know what? I go and replace those windows, and you know what happens? I get rained on by ladybugs. And then
Okay.
I'm like,
You're not getting ladybugs.
awful.
You're not getting ladybugs. Those are a Japanese beetle. They're totally different here than the actual ladybug.
They look like ladybugs.
They're not ladybugs.
Are they red and black? With
Yeah.
black dots? That's
Yeah,
the
they're-
Japanese one?
They look just like ladybugs. If you
Oh,
didn't know
really?
a difference. Yeah.
Oh.
So the infestation that you're getting in your houses in the summer and spring and
yeah.
fall and whatever, that mound that you're getting is not actually a ladybug.
Okay.
They are literally an
Well, this has been really interesting, and I can't wait to talk to you guys again next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.